What's going on, Socialites? Welcome back to another episode of GPS Tracking, your podcast for everything you need to know about the global Pokemon Society Draft League and all things Pokemon news in general. We got a big podcast this week. Yes, we are announcing the winners of our 500 subscriber giveaway, so definitely make sure you stay tuned for that. Katie of the Denver Ninetales joins me to break down the minors draft and take a look at all those teams, and I'm gonna give my predictions for what I think each majors team will be bringing for their week one matchup and how that might play for the matches. With that said, let's get into the action. What's going on, Socialites? I'm joined now by the Season 4 Majors finalist and runner-up, Caitlin of the Denver Ninetales. Welcome back to the GPS Tracking Podcast, Caitlin.
Hey, Ryan. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we haven't seen you, I guess, since the end of the finals, right? So how's everything going?
Oh, just taking care of the baby and working. I had to crawl in my hole from the shame of losing the finals, so I guess we'll venture forth now.
There you go. Well,
everyone was rooting for me.
The what?
Everyone was rooting for me.
Oh yeah, they're all rooting for you. That's okay because you, like you said, you're pressing on, and you were ranked the number one team out of the draft this season. So high expectations.
It doesn't help.
Do it. Yeah.
Especially if you just beat me again, then it's just I feel like my team always gets rated high from a draft.
Yeah.
But I don't have that.
You just gotta optimize that potential,
It's true. It's my final weather, right? No more weather.
Yep. This will be your last weather team. Next you'll have to do all Cloud 9 Pokemon that all remove the weather, ignore the weather.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
No, it's a pretty bad idea.
Aw, why not? I like the themes.
What? That is useless. Anyway, so Katie, you're joining me here to take a look at the Season 5 minors teams. We're just going to show them off, and then we're going to rank them. So hopefully this won't be another 2-hour ordeal for us. There are a lot less teams. So you ready?
For sure.
All right. All right, you see that good?
I do.
Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger.
Who is this? Which team is this? Buffalo.
This is the Buffalo Bidoofs. So, for those who don't know, the way we did the minors is they had different sections. They had leads, so Pokemon that you typically want to start off with. Walls, so your bulky defensive Pokemon. Sweepers, your offensive Pokemon. Utility, which is kind of like your mixed bag. They can do a lot of different things. And then free, which is kind of like, they're not considered very good. So if you can make something out of them, do it. So let's take a look at this one, Katie. I'll go through the Pokemon, and then I'll ask your first impressions on the team. All right, so for leads, we have Komao, the Dragon Fighting Pseudo-Legendary, and Excadrill, Steel Ground, classic Pokemon. Walls, we got another classic Pokemon, Skarmory, and then we got Dusknoir. For those who don't know, Zach, head coach of the Buffalo Bidoofs, is the boyfriend of Danielle, head coach of the Tokyo Togekiss, and we all know that Tokyo really liked to use Dusknoir last season, so there's a little bit of, sentiment there. For sweepers, you got Lucario and Dracovish, big one there, Dracovish. For utility, you got Ditto and Sandaconda, able to set up the sand, which might help Excadrill in some cases, and even Dracovish if you want to go that route. Also pairs nicely with Sandslash, and then Centiskorch rounds out the team in the freeze section. So what are your first thoughts, Katie?
It's a little bit of a mixed bag. Komao and Excadrill are fairly solid. I'm not a huge fan of Sandaconda, but
I'll say there's not a lot of other sand picks. I think all the other sand picks are in the
other tiers.
Yeah, in the lead tier. I know Tyranitar and Hippowdon are in the lead tier.
Yes,
I
they
want to
probably
say
have
Gigalith
to.
might be in there as well. So, um,
Are they
you don't
trying to
really
go
have
with sand, or was it
this looks like a
it's just an
pretty
option?
sand-heavy team to me.
Mm-hmm.
You could run Overcoat on Como-o, so then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pokemon that are all immune to the sand, and then Dracovish could also run Sand Rush if it wants to go with a choice band set. So seems like sand does have a play here. One
Mm-hmm.
thing that I see is you got Como can run special attack, but it typically wants to run physical attack to get close combat, scale shot, those sort of moves. So you don't have really any special attackers on this team, unless Ditto wants to transform into something. But
Yeah, I almost feel like the team doesn't have enough versatility as well.
yeah, we'll have to see how powerful Sand can be. Sandaconda is a very interesting sand setter, and that needs to be hit first to set the sand. But if you build your Sandaconda bulky, you can set sand multiple times, even against other weather teams. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm not down on their team just because you do have powerful Pokemon Como, Excadrill,
Yeah,
Dracovish.
Lucario is awesome. Skarmory is
Yeah.
awesome. They have some powerful Pokemon if they can just get some synergy with
Yeah.
their. Besides a sand, I mean the sand synergy is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But if someone comes prepared for that, do they have a backup plan?
Yeah. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, we'll have to see. But overall, my first impressions are like this team. Again, in the minors, if you have a very solid strategy, sometimes that can run things out. All right, let's move on to the next team. The Daytona Colossal returning from Season 4. They got Tyranitar and Swampert as their leads, Ferrothorn and Runerigus as their walls, Blaziken and Bisharp, or as they pronounce it, Bisharp, which really confused me, as their sweepers, Xatu and Dreadnought for utility, and then Vileplume and Palossand as their free picks. So, Katie, what's your first impressions here?
Almost like the opposite of the last team, where this team has a little bit of everything going on.
Yeah, a lot of versatility on this team. A lot of different type coverages. You got Fire, Water, Grass Core. You got Fighting, Dark, and Psychic. So Fighting, Psychic, Dark. You got no Dragon and no Fairy, so you don't have a Steel Dragon Fairy core, but overall very solid all-around team. Not much to make use of the sand, although you do have 4 or 5 or even 6 if you want to go Pokemon that are immune to the sand.
Now I feel like with singles too, it's kind of important to have a lot of versatility because there's only so much support that your Pokemon can do for each other.
Right.
So I think some teams might have a hard time figuring out who this team is going to bring each match.
Yeah, that's true. I do think they're 4 Tyranitar and Swampert can kind of be bulky offense. Then you got straight out offense with Blaziken and Bisharp. Ferrothorn's just great. And then you can do like a mixed bag, whatever you kind of like want to fill in with these last ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, very good, solid team, I think, here overall. Moving on to the Diamond Desert Dwellers, Chris, who was our runner-up in the last season's minors. For leads, he has Whimsicott and Gigalith. Walls, Clefable and Corviknight. Sharpedo and Magnezone make up his sweepers. Alolan Marowak and Kingdra for his utility. And Licky Licky and Gothitelle are his free picks. Thoughts, Katie?
So does he have a core? I see a Fairy, Steel, but no
Fire, Water, Grass. He has Steel, Fairy, Dragon.
Oh, he does have Dragon. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Dragon.
So he also has a lot of versatility here, and he's got a lot of heavy hitters here. What sort of strategy do you think he's going to try to bring to his matches?
This seems like a team that really wants Trick Room. Like
Yeah.
you look at Sharpedo doesn't want Trick Room obviously because of speed boost, and
Hmm.
Kingdra without rain is kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
really
that's what I
want
was thinking.
rain.
It's a Kingdra without a on not on a rain team, and you don't see that often.
Yeah, but Pokemon like Marowak really like Trick Room. Magnezone like Trick Room.
Hmm.
Gigalith like Trick Room. So you could do something with that sort of set using either Whimsicott or Gothitelle to set up Trick Room.
Hmm.
Corviknight's just a great wall, so I mean that could go on any team, and I think it would be great. Um, yeah, it's a little awkward, I think.
Clefable in singles.
Clefable's good, pure fairy type, just
Hmm.
solid stats all around, so you can make it pretty bulky. It can be a wish supporter, um, heal bell, that sort of stuff. It plays like a cleric role.
Okay.
Um,
This is another team where I guess we'll just have to see how he approaches his next few games.
yeah, it's just to me, it's just the Pokemon that he has are really slow.
Yeah.
If he had a Pelipper
Mhm.
to set up the rain so that he could have like a Pelipper Kingdra core with some bulky Pokemon like Corviknight and Clefable, and then
What tier was
Magnezone's just
Pelipper
solid.
in?
Leads, I believe.
Lead, so he'd have to give up.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he could probably stand to give up Gigalith, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Seems like at least in the first few weeks he's gonna have to rely on this Trick Room
Yeah.
because Pokemon like Marowak aren't going to survive a lot of hits. So you really
Yeah.
want to get that Trick Room up. But he does have the Pokemon to do it. Trick Room is just a little bit more difficult to pull off in singles.
Licky Licky has served some past teams really well as well. I
Has
mean,
it?
it's always kind of tiered. I feel like the Talonflames made really good use out of Licky Licky that one
I
season.
don't think they brought it ever that season.
I think they did.
Maybe
though.
once.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Maybe once. I think that team won off the back of Talonflame and Dracovish, and Indeedee did a lot for them too. Indeedee male. All right, moving on, we got the Gardner Gyarados Rob returning for a second season. His leads are the namesake Gyarados and Seismitoad, who we also had last season. Chansey and Appleton make up his walls. Gengar and Duraludon are his offensive sweepers. Blastoise and Snorlax are his utility. And then for free, he has Cursula, who we used last season, and Alcremie. What do you think about this team, Katie?
Got a chunky team. That's my first thought. All of them are very bulky boys.
Yeah, I guess so for the most part. Seismitoad, Chansey, of course. On the special side, Appleton's pretty bulky, though it has a lot of weaknesses. Duraludon's actually not a bulky Pokemon. It doesn't really operate like a Steel type. Blastoise is okay, and then yeah, Snorlax is pretty bulky. Let's see, no Fire type, so we don't have the Fire, Water, Grass. We don't have. We do have Dragon, Steel, Fairy.
Yeah,
I don't see. For me, I'm looking at you've brought up before, Katie, versus like diversity on teams. I'm seeing a lot of like overlap here.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost wish he chose something different for his free pick as well. I don't know if Alcremie can really.
I don't mind Alcremie because it's a fairy type and it's not a bad fairy type.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always good to have like
Yeah.
a pure fairy type. It can do some stuff. It can do like Calm Mind, Recover, Dazzling Gleam, and Psychic. Isn't that bad? Psychic will cover. The only thing that'll really counter that is Steel types. You gotta watch out for that. You could also put in Mystical Fire instead of Psychic for whichever like coverage move you want.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at this.
I almost think that they should pick a different lead as well. Gyarados and Seismitoad, I think almost have
Yeah, I don't think Seismitoad is too great on this team because one of the main things for it is its Storm Drain, its water immunity to kind of bait and attacks, but you don't have anything that wants to attack with water. against this team. Like you don't have a fire or a ground type that you're
Yeah.
trying to protect to get that free switch in with Seismitoad. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a horrible team. He definitely has some pieces. It'll be interesting to see what he does with Chansey.
Yeah.
You know, Chansey does need a little bit of play around. You can't put in front of physical Pokemon, of course. But he does have some good offensive Pokemon: Gyarados, Gengar, Duraludon. Snorlax is a bulky boy, so we'll have to see how this one goes. Not super high on this team, but I do think it could pull some stuff off.
I hear you, but I think
This is another team that could operate decent under Trick Room. You could see Cursula, Snorlax, and Appleton doing okay.
Yeah, I worry about the Appleton too.
Yeah, it's a lot of weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
This team really dies to freeze dry, which doesn't make it necessarily bad. But all right, moving on to the Memphis Muse. Anthony of the Pittsburgh Poltergeists' fiance Kevin joining the minor leagues. So for leads, he has Torkoal and Nihilego. Mandibuzz and Celesteela are his walls. His sweepers are Darmanitan, Galar, and Cinderace. Venusaur and Charizard make up his utility and Suncore, and then Lantern and Shiftry are his free picks.
Rock Poison. I actually don't hate this team at all. I think there's a lot of diversity in here, a lot of things it could do. I'm not really familiar with Nihilego. How do you say that? Nihilego?
Nihilego. It's rock poison.
I don't know a whole lot about that Pokemon, honestly.
Yeah, it's a, you know, as long as you're not getting hit with like ground attack, it's a pretty solid Pokemon.
Mandibuzz.
Stealth Rocks, Toxic, you know, Sludge Wave. So it's your typical rock setter. But to me, I look at this team and obviously you have the Suncore, Torkoal, Venusaur, Charizard. Darmanitan and Cinderace are just super powerful sweepers, and then whichever kind of wall you want, Mandibuzz, Celesteela, like those are the 6 you're gonna bring every time.
And Mandibuzz is a great wall too.
Yeah, for sure, and it'll help with Defog to get rid of those Stealth Rocks, because this is a Stealth Rock weak team, and you only get boots on one thing, which I would assume would probably be the Mandibuzz. So that if you can knock out the Mandibuzz and then kind of play around, force pressure on these Pokemon to switch out, they will get chipped down by rocks pretty quickly. So that is something to think about. Like Charizard, if it doesn't have boots on, is going to lose half of its health the first time it comes down Stealth Rock. So, but overall, I think this team is definitely one of the better teams that we've seen here in the minors.
Did any of these Pokemon learn any removal?
Well, like I said, Defog from Mandibuzz, and I believe Shiftry also learns Defog.
So they have
And Cinderace can do Court Change as well if you want to do that.
So if they're worried about a team kind of bringing in that, then they have some options.
Yeah, but again, you only get one boots. So it's like Shiftry isn't weak to the rock, so you kind of want to put your boots on Mandibuzz to protect it, but then you're not putting it on one of your offensive threats. But yeah, that's like the only weakness, which again, if you can deny the rocks with a strong start, then it's not going to be that big of a problem. Moving on, we have the Seattle Shiny Sylveons, Ian returning after taking the season off, joining the minor leagues. For leads, he has Klefki and Lycanroc. Umbreon and Tangrowth make up his walls. Dragapult and Scizor for his offensive sweepers. Gudra and Sylveon for his utility. And then Claydol and Ice Cube for his free picks.
I think this is an awesome team. Sylveon is a great fairy type. Gudra is a really solid dragon. Klefki, I've always wanted to play with Klefki, honestly. I think it's interesting. It does a lot of interesting things. Dragapult is obviously great. Scizor, like he has a pretty solid team, a lot of versatility here too. I think this is a team where there's enough strong individuals where people will be wondering again what exactly he's going to bring.
Yeah, that's true. I think Scizor definitely really helps. against the fairy matchup,
Mm-hmm.
because with Dragapult and Goodra, you would be afraid of fairies on your team, but Scizor just takes care of fairies so easily. Yeah, Klefki's really good. You got Prankster, Spike, so if you have like a Focus Sash on your Klefki, you can usually get 2 layers of spikes up very easily. You also can run Thunder Wave, Dazzling Gleam, and whatever other 4th move you want on there. But typically it's a spike setter, and then try to spread paralysis when you can as it goes around. Lycanroc is also a good choice. With Tough Claws, it actually means it can hit pretty hard as well, and you have priority with a Cell Rock. You get Stealth Rocks, of course, Sucker Punch, Stone Edge. So you do have some offensive options with Lycanroc as well. Umbreon, we all know, very bulky. Moonlight can do some different things. Tangrowth is pretty good on the special side. Or no, it's good on the physical side, but you can run it as a Assault Vest to help with that on the special side. Knockoff, different moves like that. Dragapult, of course, is just classic this generation. Scizor, I already talked about. Goodra as well, very good, specially defensive. So he has some good switch-ins. Sylveon, you already mentioned, Katie. And then he has a couple removal options. You can run Defog on Scizor. Bulky Scizor is actually pretty good. You can put leftovers on Scizor, give it some bulk, and run Defog, U-turn, Bullet Punch, etc. Claydol, of course, gets a Rapid Spin. The Ice Cube doesn't really make sense on the team right now.
That's a little odd, but it's a free pick, so if they ever really want to bring it, I guess.
Yeah, you can add and drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty overall solid team. Moving on to the Sin City Squirtles. Previously, Jason was in the majors last season, but he got sent down to the minors, so we'll have to see how he does here. His leads are Incineroar and Golisopod. He's got 2 slows, Slowbro, Galar, and Slowking as his walls. Metagross and Rillaboom are his sweepers. Grimmsnarl and Milotic are his utility, and then Glaceon and Steelix make up his free picks.
I mean, yeah, this is another team that seems kind of all over the place a little bit to me. I mean, there's some solid Pokemon there for sure. Like Rillaboom is great.
I thought you would have liked this team.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Like, I mean,
I don't think it's the worst or the best that we've seen, but I think it's pretty solid. You do have a Firegrass Water Core.
Mm-hmm.
Milotic is very bulky.
I mean, I like his free pick a lot. Of all the teams so far, I think that's the free pick. I think that has. I
like the Steelix, I guess, but I'm not a fan of.
Glaceon, I'm not a huge fan of, but Steelix, I think, is a good choice.
I think so. With Grimmsnarl, typically what Grimmsnarl does is, again, it's one of those kind of utility Pokemon. You have Spirit Break, but you typically run like dual screens and then like Thunder Wave to make use of its Prankster. So you want to get like dual screens up and then get like a frailer sweeper in. But all of his sweepers are pretty bulky, so I'm not really sure if the screens are going to add a lot. I mean, it just makes you even more bulky, I guess.
Yeah, this is another team that is almost. I don't know if there's a lot of synergy between his Pokemon. It's just a lot of like good individuals.
Yeah, but I mean that's not bad.
Of making them. No, it's not bad. It's just a matter of can he make them work together to take out some of the teams that have more synergy between the Pokemon and might be kind of working together.
Yeah, I'm definitely not down on this team though. We'll have to see what he does with it, but I think it has a solid.
No, it has a lot of potential for sure.
Yeah,
and it does have.
I would probably just look for something, maybe something in the free pick that's like more like fragile that can take use of those screens, like a fast but fragile sweeper sort of Pokemon that might just be like it's so fragile that it got thrown in the free pick. It's not really considered a sweeper, but we'll have to see. All right, so the last team we got is the Utah Slow Kings. This team kind of joined late because I had to drop a team because we weren't hearing back from somebody. So they have for leads Roserade and Mamoswine, Kanto Slowbro, Weezing for walls, Dragonite and Pheromosa are their sweepers, Togekiss and Arcanine for utility, and then Gallade and Rotom Fan for their free picks.
Mm-hmm. Pheromosa is probably one of my.
Pheromosa is very powerful. Very strong Pokemon.
Is that a Pokemon or is that an Ultra Beast?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Ultra Beast.
It's probably one of my favorite Ultra Beasts, so I'm glad that someone drafted it. It's on their team. Mamoswine, I mean, you proved to everyone that Mamoswine is a great Pokemon, so you made a whole video about it.
Yeah, several videos. But you look at this, you got Grass, Water, Fire.
Mm-hmm.
No Steel that I can see, so you're missing the Steel from the Dragon Fairy, but I mean, this is a really good Dragon, really good Fairy. Psychic Fighting.
Oh, I thought it was Steel. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you got Spikes and Toxic Spikes. You got Rocks and a strong Pokemon, Mamoswine, Slowbro, and Weezing. Both of these are physically defensive, so I would have liked the specially defensive pivot there.
Arcanine can be a bulky boy too, can he?
Yeah. I mean, you could do Arcanine or Togekiss as bulky as well.
Yeah.
Dragonite with its ability multi-scale can be pretty bulky for, at least take that initial hit. Pretty overall good team. I think you have a lot of Pokemon that can kind of go both ways. I mean, Pheromosa is just an all-out attacker, but it's such a good attacker.
I can see Pheromosa doing a lot of work on this team.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
All right, so Katie, you ready to rate these teams? Give them a ranking?
Let's try.
All right. Let me know if you got to go back to them. So first up, we got the Buffalo Bidoofs. This was the Sand team. Sandaconda, Excadrill, Komao, Dracovish.
I like that they had synergy and kind of strategies going in. I almost want to rate them as an A. What are your thoughts?
I think A. Let's see where the rest go. I think they have a pretty solid strategy. Again, Sandaconda is not like the best sand setter, but
at least they have a sand setter.
Yeah, and I think if they can keep the sand kind of going, then they will have a lot going on. What other weather teams do we have? We had a sun team. I don't think anybody picked rain or
rain. No one.
Yeah,
did.
so I mean, I guess other than against the Memphis Muse, there's nothing that will overwrite the weather on him. So he does have those turns that he can operate with that.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to put a smooth.
He's a Tyranitar, they can set the sand up for him.
Yeah, other teams have sand that he can go up against too. All right, next we got the Daytona Colossal. So this team had Tyranitar, Swampert, Blaziken, Bisharp. I can go back to them real quick. Ferrothorn. Like this team has a very solid core, I think.
Yeah, I'd see them doing. I would probably say A as well. Higher A.
Yeah. All right, next we got the Diamond Desert Dwellers. So this team, Whimsicott, Gigalith, Clefable, Corviknight. This is the one that I said I think kind of needs Trick Room until they can maybe add a couple other pieces.
Yeah.
Sharpedo's fast, but it's very frail. Kingdra without rain is kind of floundering a bit.
I would say a B, honestly. I don't know if I would go so saying they're a C quite, but.
Yeah. All right, next you got the Gardner Gyarados.
I would say C as well. Or B.
Higher or lower?
Lower. Why? What are your thoughts?
No, I agree with this so far.
Yeah.
So if I didn't agree, you'd hear it. All right, next we got the Memphis Muse. This was the Sun team.
Go back to it again. Sorry. I like this team actually. I would say high B, low A.
Really?
You don't think so?
I I mean, we got to
Oh,
give
S?
something an S team.
This
Yeah.
is
What are
true.
you
This
talking
is
about?
true.
This team is scary.
This is the Sun team. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. This team is scary right here.
They have
You know.
Mandibuzz too. I like
And
Mandibuzz
again,
a
we
lot.
just spoke about. I mean, I guess there are a few teams that have sand that can set up, so
But and you were
that
just
will be
saying
a
too,
little
though, that
difficult.
that
But
rocks would kind of destroy this team.
yeah, I mean, you'll have to play around it. But if you can, um, get rid of their setter, then it won't be too bad.
They do have a great logo too.
Yeah. All right, next we got the Seattle Shiny Sylveons.
So this was another team that I thought was pretty solid. Let me see the ranking. What do we have? I want to put them in A.
All right, where in the A?
I think they're better than the Bidoofs. Would we say they're better than Daytona?
I think Daytona has a more solid overall core. I think it's close though, just because the power of like Dragon Pulse, Scissor, Goodra.
Yeah.
But I'd probably put him there.
Okay.
All right, next we got the Sin City Squirtles.
So you like this team?
I was just saying I didn't think it was like the worst team.
I don't think it's the worst team, but I wouldn't say it's one of the better. So we could put it in a B.
All right, where in the Bs?
We can say a high B because I do think they have a lot that they could do with the
You're
team.
gonna have to move some teams down to
Well,
because we only got this one left.
which it has Pheromosa.
Utah Slow Kings.
I don't know. What do you think about this team?
I think it's a solid overall team.
Let's see the stand-ins.
What I would probably do,
I would probably put it B because I think that the A tiers we have currently. You think it's an A tier?
yeah,
Just like looking at it compared to the other teams that we've.
is it better than Seattle?
I just feel like Seattle has a lot of tricks up its sleeve. Like each of the.
I think it's close to Seattle, so I'm gonna put it in the A. And I think what I want to do is kind of go like this. What do you think?
I could see that. Let me see Diamond Desert again. I keep forgetting which one's which. Yeah. I mean, it sucks because they have pieces here that could make a great team, but they definitely need to make a few changes. Like I don't know if I like Gigalith, honestly, on this team either.
Yeah, not really on this team.
I'd probably drop Gigalith and maybe Marowak at something.
I mean, Marowak is good,
I mean,
but I
it's
feel like
good.
you either got to go all in on this Trick Room thing and drop like Sharpedo and Kingdra, or, get more all around.
Pick up Pelipper and
Pelipper would really help here. You could get like Pelipper instead of like Whimsicott, and then you can do get Barraskewda instead of Sharpedo, and then you got a really good Rain Core. You got those three Pokemon, Barraskewda hitting on the physical side, Kingdra hitting on the special side. Really solid there. You can still keep Gigalith and just run Sturdy instead of Sandstream.
Yeah.
So that you still have like a Rock Set or the Corviknight and Clefable can both set up rocks too. So I mean, Gigalith you could try and trade away to a different team maybe. I mean, and Magnezone's fine. It's a strong Pokemon.
Yeah,
that can
Magnezone I
switch
think
around.
is fine.
Yeah.
And any team you have, honestly, he's a solid pick.
Yeah. So I would either try to go all rain, dropping Whimsicott Sharpedo and picking up Pelipper Barraskewda, or I would try to get more into Trick Room, and I would be looking for like some bulkier Pokemon, dropping Kingdra and Sharpedo.
Yeah.
Out of there.
Going all in.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, sweet. So that's that. Well, thank you, Katie, for joining us, breaking down the minor league teams. Best of luck this week in your first game up against the Waco Scizors, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
What's going on, Socialites? It's the time you've all been waiting for. Time for our 500 subscriber giveaway announcement. So, as you can see, we're going to be picking the winners if you commented on last week's podcast, #Global500. And we got 3 winners we're going to pick. So, let's get this raffle started and see who the winner for 3rd place, which is the Nintendo Switch Pokemon case, will be. Big money, big money, big money. Ooh, congrats to Rawhith Gaming 2.0. You won the Pokemon Switch case. Very nice case. I think it's a good case. I would use it. It can hold a lot of games, and it's a lot bigger than, you know, the one I have. This one's pretty small. It only holds like 4 games in addition to the Switch, so I like the bigger premium one. But let's get moving on to the second winner. Again, this winner will get a t-shirt of whichever team from the society they want. They can pick a major league team, they can pick a minor league team. They get a free t-shirt for that. So let's see who wins that GPS swag. Congrats to my man Justin, aka Juggernaut. Man, I'm gonna pay for those shipping fees, shipping that all the way out to Australia. But congrats, man. I know you've wanted a shirt for a long time. I'm sure you'll be picking the Boston Braviaries, but if there's another team you want, we'll hook you up, of course. So Rawhith Gaming 2.0, you got the Switch case. Juggernaut, you got the swag, the t-shirt. So we just got one more winner left. Who will win the copy of new Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo Switch? Let's find out. The grand prize winner, drum roll please, Donna Henley is our grand prize winner. Congrats to Donna. Definitely a big supporter of the channel. So that's awesome. Congrats for winning that. Again, guys, go down to our detail section, look up our Instagram, send us a message there letting us know that you won. We'll confirm that it's really you, and we will get the information we need to send you these prizes. But congrats to all the winners. Rawhith Gaming with the Nintendo Switch case, Juggernaut with the t-shirt, and Donna with the copy of new Pokemon Snap. And before you go, guys, while I got your attention, unless maybe you lost so you're not watching, but I do want to plug our merch. These are just some of the shirts that you can get. As you can see, we got all the different team shirts here. Let's take a look at like Daytona here. They all come in different colors, all based on the team designs. So definitely check them out. As you can see, Daytona has a bunch of cool colors that go well with that logo. So again, really helps me out, lets me get more stuff to make better, content. Like, yeah, I would love a better mic. That's what this stuff goes to, and I want to give back to the coaches who do well at the society, and I want to give more giveaways. So maybe when we get to our 1,000 subscriber giveaway, I can do something super crazy, like who knows. But yeah, but that would be super cool, and you can show your support. Like, I wear this stuff around all the time. People are like, yo, Boston Baby, is that a real team? And I'm like, heck yeah, it is. Alright, Socialites, next we're going to take a look at what I think each team in the majors is going to do for their week 1 matchups, and we'll kind of break down how each team can play around that, or what team will have the advantage. First up, we have the Black City Zekroms and the Charm City Charizards. Black City has a very aggressive team we see with Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Kyurem, Gyarados, Xatu, Darmanitan, and Crobat, while Charm City's team has a lot of Ghost and Poison types, so they don't have as much coverage. You see they have Kyurem White, Gengar, Lucario, Drapion, Machamp, and Galarian Slowbro. Now again, these are the Pokemon I expect or would think the teams would bring, but they do have other options. So Black City definitely has the edge here, although with some right play, I think Charm City can give them a run for their money. No Guard, Stone Edge on Machamp would be very nice. It hits 5 out of the 6, very strong, other than Calyrex, of course. But you have Drapion and Gengar who can take care of Calyrex. Maybe a Choice Scarf on Gengar with Shadow Ball. That'll just destroy Calyrex, or a Dark type attack from Drapion. But again, Black City has a lot they can do. And it's going to be really tough for Charm City. I gotta give the edge here to Black City Zekroms, but Charm City does have some tools, and they do have more options as far as hazards go. They just gotta watch out for Xatu, which again, like a Stone Edge, will be very key for that. I believe Lucario can also learn Stone Edge, but I could be wrong. But also Drapion, Knockoff, and Gengar Shadow Ball will also be very good against Xatu. Not really sure what Kyurem White can really do here, but we'll have to see as a check against stuff like Gyarados. You know, Freeze Dry will definitely be good. It hits 3 of these Pokemon very hard, and it'll be able to check Kyurem and hit it hard with Draco Meteors as well. Darmanitan on the other side is very scary with a Choice Band, but Slowbro should be able to tank it pretty well. So we'll just have to see exactly what Charm City can do. They're going to have to use their bulk, but they're not super bulky. You look at them, not super bulky. So I gotta give the edge to Black City here. I'm trying to talk Charm City up, but yeah, moving on, we got your Boston Braviers taking on the Lavender Town Gengars. Now, in this, I mean, I am the coach of the Boston Braviers, so you're seeing what I'm going to bring here. Garatina, Ferrothorn, Rotom Wash, Gardevoir, Galarian Weezing, and Articuno. I predict that Lavender Town will be bringing Kyogre, Toxapex, Thundurus, Poliwrath to take advantage of that rain and to give them a physical attacker, Galarian Articuno, and Togekiss. So I really like our matchup here. I want to see what Articuno can do here. If maybe we can set up a Hail. If we come in against something like a Kyogre or a Toxapex, we can definitely set up a Hail, use our Roost. Freeze Dry just really destroys his team. You see here, it hits all of these Pokemon super effectively. And really it hits 8 out of the full 10 Pokemon on his team. So, and like maybe Air Slash as the last move just for coverage, although I probably don't even need that. But yeah, Gardevoir will be able to check something like Poliwrath. Giratina, very bulky. There's not much he can do against us with Giratina. Maybe Choice Specs Togekiss for that. Ferrothorn, again, very good matchup here. Like, what's he going to do against Ferrothorn? Like, what can he hit with this super effectively other than Poliwrath with close combat? Rotom Wash, he doesn't have any grass types, so we should do very well there. And again, Galarian Weezing with Misty Surge will prevent any scald burns or toxic from the Toxapex. He won't be able to Thunder Wave us with Thundurus. No like discharge paras if he's going with, you know, para flinch Togekiss. So we have our options. I gotta say, I think I got the favorite here, but it could be anyone's game. He could definitely bring something like a Virizion, but again, I'm not too worried about that with Weezing and Gardevoir on the team. And also, unless it's like Stone Edge, he would have to hit a Stone Edge to really take care of our Articuno here. So I think we should be able to take it pretty easily. We'll just have to see what he can do. Rotom, of course, will do a lot of work as well. And if we don't have the Misty Surge up, we can always do something with Hex. Next up, we got Denver and Waco. Denver with Calyrex Ice Rider, Pelipper, Kingdra, Goodra, Aggron, and Gastrodon I expect them to bring. Waco with Kyurem Black, Scizor, who will be very key, Dracozolt, Sylveon, Heracross, and Galarian Rapidash. So first things first, Sylveon is really the only pure special attacker that Waco has, so that's why Aggron is such a good fit here. Even with its poor typing, just its super high defense stat, it'll be able to tank a lot of these hits, even against super effective attacks like from Heracross. But the Steel type will be very nicely against these fairies and against Kyurem, of course, and the Dragon Pokemon. Dracozolt won't be able to do too much either. You gotta watch out for the fairy types with your Kingdra and Goodra, but again, they should be able to tank it very well. No grass Pokemon from Waco, so Gastrodon should be able to stall out a lot. And I think this matchup is pretty even overall. Unless Waco wants to throw Defog on Scizor, I think that Denver can get hazards up with Aggron and be able to keep them up pretty well. Because Scizor's so good offensively in this matchup, I don't think you want to waste turn defogging. You want to be getting good U-turn chip and then finishing stuff off with Bullet Punch. But Bullet Punch isn't going to do too much here other than against the Calyrex, which I'm sure Denver won't put Calyrex in that situation. Yeah, so we'll just have to see kind of how that goes. Again, the fact that Waco only has one special attacker, I think really helps with Denver's prep here. They can really just kind of go up against these physical attackers pretty well. And we'll have to see how the rain really works for them. And if they can get some good Scald burns, because you got 3 Pokemon here who will have Scald, oof. 1 or 2 of those Scald burns, Denver will be looking real nice. Next up, we got the Driftvale City Dragapults and Paris Saint-Germain. Driftvale with Magearna, the namesake Dragapult, Nidoking, Milotic, Raikou, and Regidrago I expect them to bring. PSG has Evital, Tapu Koko, Registeel, Aurorus, Arctozolt, and Flareon. So Flareon's very interesting, but I think it's your best Magearna check, unless Magearna wants to be Volt switching around. You don't have a ground type, so you can't really stop that. But with the couple dragons that I think Dragapult could bring, Tapu Koko, of course, as a fairy type, will be able to absorb any dragon energies or anything that Dracozolt, Regidrago can do. And Registeel is just a good overall, check to Magearna and these dragon types. I do like Aurorus and Arctozolt because I think Arctozolt is your best sweeper here. Ice and Electric are both very good coverage here. You see Ice hits Dragapult, Regidrago, and Nidoking all super effectively. Electric will hit Milotic super effectively, and you can do, Ice will still do a lot of damage to Raikou, and Electric will still do a lot of damage to Magearna, especially with that Bolt Beak power. So again, Flareon's just kind of a check, and Evital is just an overall good Pokemon. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. But I do think the Dragapults do have the better Pokemon overall. So again, if they can take down Aurorus, you know, put the pressure on there, it's gonna be really tough. Like Nidoking does a lot of damage to all of these Pokemon, really. So Nidoking is scary, which is why I think you need to set up that Slush Rush and get a very strong Icicle Crash Off, probably Choice Band on, or Life Orb on the Arctosil. But yeah, I definitely do like the Dragapults here overall, so we'll just have to see how that plays out with that, because yeah, PSG, we didn't rank them very highly compared to Dragapults, and that's what it's all going to come down to in this week 1. You don't have the time to kind of make up for that, and PSG just has a lot of electric types, and that doesn't help out against some of these Pokemon that can really resist or negate electric here, which is why you only see me recommending 2 of them right now, and kind of just forming more of a defensive core with only a couple sweepers. Next up, we have a matchup of the 2 teams that we ranked in the D-League, although I do like the Mighty Psyducks actually a lot more, so maybe we should have had an E ranking there. But El Paso bringing Eternatus, Alakazam, Nidoqueen, Steelix, Hitmonchan, and Poltegeist, I suspect. The Psyducks, I like them bringing Lugia, Urshifu, Rapistrike, Salamence, Umbreon, Jinx, and Inteleon. So I definitely do give the edge here to the Psyducks. You look at Lugia, can take care of Eternatus. It's a very good check and counter to Alakazam, as long as it's not running like a Spec Shadow Ball. Takes care of Nidoqueen, takes care of Hitmonchan. It just won't do too much. I mean, I guess you could throw Surf on it, and then it's gonna be able to do a lot to Steelix. Probably just don't want to throw it too much in front of the Poltegeist. But Urshifu kind of checks the opposite Pokemon here. It should do very well against Poltegeist. Should do very well against Steelix for the most part with those Surging Strikes, critical hits. You just don't want it to go up against like Eternatus or, of course, Alakazam. Salamence just a really strong, fast Pokemon, so it'll be doing great, of course. Umbreon, another good check against Alakazam and against Eternatus as well. You don't want it going up against a Body Press Steelix or Hitmonchan, but again, it should be able to check the other 4 Pokemon. I like Jinx with its Ice and Psychic coverage, and it has very good special defense, so again, it's another Pokemon that can kind of get in front of Alakazam and Nidoqueen, and then it can hit like these other Pokemon very nicely. And then I just like the speed and the power of Inteleon. Again, just a lot of stuff that the Psyducks can do. El Paso's game, they got to play it a little more defensively and try and get Alakazam into a good position. Now, Alakazam's going to have a 4-move syndrome here because you can't have Shadow Ball, Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, and Focus Blast. Like, you know, there's a lot of stuff you need to cover for. Are you going to go Focus Sash? Are you going to try and go Choice Specs? If you're Choice Specs, then you're locked into a certain move. That's not good. We'll have to see what Eternatus can do. But yeah, I do think they have to rely a lot on Steelix's bulk to force things out and try not to get too far behind here. Next up, we got the LA Kinglers and the Tokyo Togekiss. This should be a very good game. I like LA bringing Zekrom, Hippowdon, Aegislash, Volcanion, Snorlax, and Vikavolt. As for Tokyo, I like them bringing Klefki, Sceptile, Arcanine, Rayquaza, Excadrill, and Tapu Bulu. Now, one of the things we pointed out with Tokyo when we were talking about their team was Tapu Bulu and Unburdened Sceptile getting that Grassy Seed, getting off grassy terrain boosted Leaf Blaze very effectively. Now, Leaf Blaze not going to do a lot of damage here against LA, so because that's something you want to do. A move I would really like to see is Earthquake here from Rayquaza, Sceptile, and Excadrill. But again, the grassy terrain is going to really affect that, so maybe we don't want to see Tabulu here on Tokyo's side. You do have Klefki, who should be able to get up 2, maybe even 3 layers of spikes. I like that. Not a lot of ways for LA to get rid of those hazards. Rocks as well from Excadrill will do very nicely. So I think Tokyo should prioritize getting those hazards up, and then from there look for a way to sweep. From LA's perspective, they do have a lot of very good, strong Pokemon. Sceptile, Zekrom needs to find its way in somehow. It's going to be pretty tough for Zekrom to really get going, but I like Aegis Slash. It should be able to take basically anything other than like these Excadrills and the Arcanine. Volcanion has very good coverage as well. Snorlax has always done good for LA. And I think that, Sticky Web could be very good too if that's what Vikavolt wants to do there. The speed game could be very important because you look at LA, they're not a very fast team at all. I don't even know if the Sticky Web would really even help with that because Tokyo's team is very fast. I just don't know if I like that Tapu Bulu for Tokyo now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, so let's actually replace it with Blastoise. I think that gives us a lot more options. Let's just run Earthquake on 3 of these Pokemon. And Blastoise can just do Blastoise things. We don't need to do too much. It's another threat to Howdon. It can run Ice Beam for stuff like the Zekrom. And then not too much else is going to really resist Scalds or Hydro Pumps, whichever water attack you want to go with. Next up, we got the Oklahoma Thunderous and the Vero Beach Volcaronas. Oklahoma, very good overall team. I expect them to bring Ho-Oh, Rillaboom, Kommo-o, Mimikyu, Suicune, and Bronzong to this match. Going up against Vero, who has a lot of steel types. Dialga, Melmetal, Metagross form their steel types that I think they would bring this match. Regirock, Silvally is very interesting. I wonder what Silvally would bring. I kind of like Ghost here. Could protect your steel types against any fighting moves that Kommo-o might have. Can, in certain situations, can threaten Mimikyu and Bronzong. So I kind of like Ghost. Normal isn't too bad. Like, you could do like Choice Band Explosion sort of things. And then Tornadus to round out the team. So I'm going to talk a lot more about Vero here. I definitely think they got to watch out for Burn Scalds from Suicune, Will-O-Wisps from Mimikyu, and of course Sacred Fire from Ho-Oh. So you want to watch out for that with your Melmetal. Maybe a Lumberry is good on Melmetal because other than against Suicune, like Thunder Punch from Melmetal against Suicune is going to do a lot of damage. So you got Double Iron Bash, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch will do a lot against like Rillaboom and Kommo-o, although Double Iron Bash is probably still just better than those. I think Melmetal is very important. You want Regirock as your Ho-Oh check. So that it threatens out with like Stone Edge and everything. Getting rocks up will be very important. I don't really see any way for Oklahoma to get rid of hazards, so we could see Dialga setting up rocks. Regirock, of course, could also set up rocks. I just wonder what Tornadus can kind of do here, like what sort of supporting role. Hurricanes will be very good against Rillaboom and Kommo-o, but you gotta really watch out for any setup opportunities. You could have like Home and Suicune, of course Swords Dance, Mimikyu. Just be watch out for those. And try not to be clicking Earthquake until you can get rid of like Bronzong and Ho. I do think this is a very tough matchup for Barrow just because of their lack of diversity here, but I do think that they could pull some tricks out. Depends what they do with that Silvally and some other things. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Poltegeist and the Worcester Delibirds. Pittsburgh, I expect them to be bringing their Sun team, of course. Groudon, Venusaur, and Charizard make up that core, with Healess being a part of that too. Mandibuzz and Seismitoad are more of their defensive core. And Worcester has a very good all-around team as well, with Mewtwo, Zapdos, Gigalith, Flygon, Tentacruel, and Entei. So Pittsburgh definitely has the better, like, synergistic team, which gives them a lot of power as long as they keep those parts together. I do think the Delibirds have a better, like, overall sort of team. Gigalith with the sand will be able to override a lot, although you do have to watch out for, like, you can't bring it in really on Groudon or on Seismitoad or Venusaur, really. You could try and be cheeky and maybe put an air balloon on him to bring him in against a Groudon so that he can't Earthquake. Like, they gotta do like a fire punch against you, and that'll let you bring in like either your Tentacruel or your probably your best bet would be Flygon, because then he's going to resist fire punches and not take anything from Earthquakes. Of course, be careful about Groudon setting up with Sword Stance and kind of going out of control, but again, with Flygon, you should be okay. We'll have to see what Mewtwo can do. Ice Beam will be very good. It's 3 of these Pokemon super effectively, and Thunderbolt, it's a couple of them as well. And then Psychic, Psyshock, of course, will finish off the rest. Getting some hazards up, kind of forcing Mandibuzz to come in and out and chipping it down. Defog, Roost, Foul Play, U-Turn, standard Mandibuzz set, but Stone Edge, maybe like a Choice Band Entei with Sacred Fire, Stone Edge, and Extreme Speed could do very nicely as well. And that's all I have on those teams there. So we'll have to see how my predictions turn out. Let me know what you think, what each team might bring, or if you think I missed anything in that analysis. Alright, Socialites, thanks for tuning in to another episode of GPS Tracking. Good luck to all the coaches in the majors this week doing their first matches, and congrats to our 3 winners of the 500 subscriber giveaway. Again, make sure you follow us on the Instagram and send us messages there so that we can confirm that you're the winner, and we can get your information to send you those prizes as soon as possible. And as always, stay classy, society.